radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network. AGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. How you doing? Today is Wednesday, August 19th, 2020. 232 days into the new year, only 134 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planets. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? That's right, it's Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Last night was Fader night. Supposed to be Thursday. Thursday's tomorrow. More on Thursday in just a minute. Better buckle up, kids. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Let's start with tonight. Tonight, Death Angel drummer Will Carroll is here. He's got an amazing story. So sit back and get ready for that. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. Tomorrow night, Thursday, it's Linda Moulton Howe right here on Fade to Black. And since we did, Thursday is Fader night. That's tomorrow. That's open lines. But we did open lines yesterday instead of tomorrow, right? And I was going to do open lines with Linda and surprise her with that. But since I did open lines last night, I'm not going to do open lines tomorrow. Ha! I can do whatever I want. It's my show. Dang it. Take my toys out of the sandbox and go home. I'll do it. I will do it. Yeah, tomorrow night, Linda Moulton Howe. Cannot wait. Tonight, Will Carroll. And again, I want to let all of you know that our H Factor, the new series, is it's coming. It's coming. Go to the Game Changer Network YouTube channel, subscribe, and click on notifications. Get ready. The world premiere for the H Factor is it's nearly here. It looks good too. It's nearly here. It's going to be worth the wait. All right, so do that. And also our two new sponsors here at Fade to Black, Carolyn Ford and her amazing crystal skulls. Any of you out there that have been lucky enough to come over and have dinner at the house, you have seen our crystal skull collection. That's all from Carolyn Ford. And Lisa. Lisa, if you're listening, you're responsible for all of this madness. Anyway, Carolyn Ford. And we have two different conferences over the years. We have brought a few skulls with us, like Vader, right? Vader, the Fader. He's huge. He's just ginormous. Those are all from Carolyn Ford. And you can go right now and get your very own crystal skull. If you go to Carolyn's website, which is EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com, you can go to the store page and go and check out her skulls. They are absolutely the best. Okay, the best. Everybody wonders, where do you go? What do you do? And who are the artists and how are these done? And think Carolyn Ford. That's it. And right now, use the promo code Jimmy, Jimmy. When you check out, you're going to get 10% off of your Crystal Skull order today. So go and do that. Also, coming up next week, which is Friday, August 28th, is the Dark Zone Network's next event, the Lizzie Borden Murder House Live. It's a 4-day, 24-hour-day live stream, 24 hours a day. You get to pick the cameras, go and check it out, and that is the only way to do it. Very, very, very cool. August 28th through August 31st. And all you have to do is go to thedarkzone.tv to check everything out. And next Thursday, August 27th, they will have a free preview for you to go and check out. thedarkzone.tv. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. All right. Start your social media journey with me right there at JChurchRadio. Okay. And email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. We have 2 chat rooms open, one over at Spreaker, one over at KGRA The Planet. And the sandbox on Twitter is hashtag F2B. You want to reach out to me on Twitter, it's very easy, at JChurchRadio, hashtag F2B. It'll pop up right in front of me. Twitter is always live. Hashtag F2BQ is Fade to Black Questions. You're looking at me right now, if you are, and not listening to my voice, but you're watching the bunker cam, right? Right here. Hashtag F2B. It's right in my face. Hashtag F2BQ. Right here, right in front of me. And then me, right here. And then if you want to reach out to Rita, she's right here. So I've got 4 Twitter feeds just clicking away. Third Stone Studios. That's a good video right there. That's disturbing. Reminds me of that TV show Community, if anybody has seen that yet. All right, let's get this. Man, do I got the craziest breaking news ever. Let's start with this. It only took Apple about 2 years from being the first American company to top $1 trillion of market value to becoming America's first $2 trillion giant. Apple surpassed the $2 trillion market cap today. The iPhone maker passed Saudi Aramco, which was briefly worth $2 trillion last year, to become the most valuable company on the planet last month. Apple could soon have some more company, though, in the $2 trillion high club. Both Microsoft and Amazon are approaching the 2 trill number. $2 trillion. Man, crazy. All right, now check this out. I want to thank Renee, by the way. Renee, you work so hard and you brighten my day every day with all of your research that you do. And this is one of the things that Renee found out there. Citizen scientists have spotted almost 100 of our sun's nearest neighbors. Now, check this out. In a new study, members of the public, including both professional scientists and volunteers, discovered 95 brown dwarfs, celestial objects, too big to be considered planets and too small to be considered stars. They found these near our sun through the NASA-funded citizen science project Backyard World, Planet 9. They made the discovery with the help of astronomers using the National Science Foundation's National Optical Infrared Astronomy Research Laboratory. The results of this study will be published in the Astrophysical Journal. Very, very cool. Now, check this out. You ever dream about jumping into a pool of chocolate pudding? You ever have that dream? I did. I had that dream, and I've had other people go, man, I dreamed of me jumping into a pool of chocolate pudding and swimming and eating and swimming. Well, check this out. Residents of Olten in Switzerland had their town snowed upon with chocolate. That's right. A fine coating of cocoa dust blanketed the town in northern Switzerland after a malfunction with the ventilation system at the Lindt and Sprungli chocolate factory. That's right. The confectionery giant confirmed local reports of a minor mishap with the cooling ventilation on one of its lines for roasted cocoa nibs, which is the main ingredient in chocolate. That's just crazy to me. All right. I've been doing this now for a while. It's not going to stop until it stops. So I'm going to start with this. First, it was coronavirus. Then it was murder hornets. Then it was the Chinese lanternfly. Then plague fleas. And now a plan to release over 750 million genetically modified mosquitoes into the Florida Keys next year. All of it received final approval from local authorities against the objection of many local residents and a coalition of environmental advocacy groups. The proposal had already won state and federal approval. Approved by the Environment Protection Agency in May, the pilot project is designed to test if a genetically modified mosquito is a viable alternative to spraying insecticides to control the Aedes aegypti. Can't say that. It's a species of mosquito that carries several deadly diseases, such as Zika, dengue, something else I can't say, and yellow fever. The mosquito, named OX5034, has been altered. That's its name. OX5034, reporting for duty. Has been altered to produce female offspring that die in the larval stage, well before hatching and growing large enough to bite and spread disease. Only the female mosquito bites for blood, which she needs to mature her eggs. Males feed only on nectar and are thus not a carrier for disease. 750. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today, vocalist, legend, and one of my favorite singers ever in the history of this world, Ian Gillan, today, 75 years old. Deep Purple, Black Sabbath. Queen bassist John Deacon today is 69. And, Aquanet and Dorsey, and also a great singer, Europe frontman Joey Tempest today, I'm in a great mood, is 57 years old. Our dead guy's birthday today is, and tonight we have Will Carroll on the show. Our dead guy's birthday today is Ginger Baker, 1939 to 2019, died at the age of 80, English drummer and co-founder of the rock band Cream and the supergroup Blind Faith. Among his other collaborations are his work with, and you may not know this about Ginger Baker, Gary Moore, Masters of Reality. I bet you didn't know that. He also played in PIL, Public Image Limited, played in Hawkwind, Atomic Rooster, Bill Laswell, jazz bassist Charlie Hayden, by the way, and jazz guitarist Bill Frisell. Ginger died on October 6th last year, 2019, at the age of 80. Just got old, lived a great life at a hospital in Canterbury. On this day in history, OTD 1964. Man, it's like a music show tonight. The Beatles kick off their first U.S. tour at San Francisco's Cow Palace. Here's your Fader fact. Now, listen to this one. The USS, and people double check my Fader facts. They'll pop them up in Twitter. They'll get my Fader facts going over in Facebook and social media because, they're just unbelievable. But check this one out. The USS William D. Porter, U.S. Navy ship, was the only vessel in the United States Navy history to have its entire crew placed under arrest after accidentally firing a live torpedo at a vessel carrying the President of the United States. That's right, President Roosevelt and his Secretary of State. And that is your Fader Fact. Tonight, very special guest, Death Angel drummer Will Carroll is here. I can't imagine what he went through. I think that we all have thought about things like this from time to time. What he went through this year, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk some music. We're going to talk some drums. Maybe Ginger Baker. We're going to do all of that tonight. We're going to get some UFOs in. Don't you worry about that. And some supernatural, some ghosts, some conspiracy theory. We're going to do all of that tonight with Will. And tomorrow night, Linda Moulton Howe is here. And, oh, man, meow. In Twitter, you can see this. Hey, Church, you have a fever? I've never seen you in any shirt but black or gray. I know, right? I was just in one of those moods tonight. Meow just posted a gif of Kip Winger singing that song. What was that song? Heartbreak? Something on a heartbreak? I can't remember. Good guitar solo, though, in that song. Pretty good keyboards. I think the keyboard player wrote that song. That's why it's so good with those keyboard tracks. Yeah. All right. Let me hit this River Moon coffee. All right. rivermooncoffee.com. Fade to Black Blend. rivermooncoffee.com. I just like saying that. Do you remember a few years ago on the show, might have been longer than that on the show, and I came on and I shared with everybody my dream about waking up in the morning, going downstairs, and attempting to make my first cup of coffee. And there was no electricity. And I go and I check things out. I go outside, I check the electrical panel, I think, and I'm flipping switches, and sure enough, no electricity. Not working. And I'm kind of bummed about it. And then I check my cell phone. Got no cell. Got no phone service. It's down too. Normally that's still working, right? I got no phone service. And I'm standing at the sink, and I'm looking out of the kitchen window. You know, the sun's out. It's early in the morning. And it's quiet. I don't hear stuff going on. I'm like, that's kind of weird. All right, but I got to get this electricity back on. I need my morning cup of coffee, and then it spirals downhill. And I find out that we've had something disrupt electricity. And what happened along with that, which means today, if we lose electricity, that means no internet. That means no television. That means no news. That means no communication. That means not only I don't know what's going on, but neither does anybody else. And how long would it take to just spiral out of control? And I know that right now with the pandemic and the economy and lockdown, and we've got a little taste of crazy today, right? Okay. And we've talked about this a lot over the years. Lots of movies and things and what it would be like, and right? Okay, so we got a little taste of it. But that dream made me realize suddenly that how ready am I personally with my home and my family and everything else? How prepared am I for the day after an event like that. The day after. There's no news. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows what's going on. You just don't know. But outside, that's where your battery-operated radios are going to, Rich, I really appreciate that, are going to tune into nothing. There's no communication. You're going to listen to what? Where's everybody getting their news from? Satellites are down. That's it. You don't know. You know, a chain of ham radio operators with generators that may still be running or not. You don't know. You just don't know. It affects everything made out of metal. But anyway, the next day is where the crazy starts. Because there are going to be people, what, no gas. Maybe they don't have any more food. Maybe they never had food the day before. They were going to go shopping that day. And now that day, their family's hungry. And they got nothing. And it's I don't know. So what I did, and this was after Rita heard me tell this dream on the air, she was like, hey, man, church, how ready are you? How ready are you? You're the king. You're the king of this castle. That's it. You're the leader. Lead us. Are you prepared? I said, no. So Rita and I went out for a couple of days, and we built up. We've got a pretty good collection of stuff. If things go down, we're ready. I've got battery radios and battery lights, and I've got tons of food and storage and canned goods and coffee and things. I've got backups to the backup. I've got some tasty stuff. I've got some not so tasty stuff. But I've got cases of things, and I'm okay. We're good for a month or two. Okay, if the doo-doo hits the fan, you've got to be ready. All right. Okay, now I'm going to hit you with this. I need you to sit down, I need you to relax, and I need you to listen to what I'm about to say. All right? Today it was announced that space weather experts, I'm not here to alarm everybody, I just need you to just be ready. Because today it was announced that space weather experts are warning that a solar storm could strike Earth tomorrow, as in Thursday, as in tomorrow, which could mean the disruption of electrical generation systems, the electric grid, satellite communications, and radio signals. You got that, Rich? Did you hear that? According to space weather physicist Dr. Tamitha Skov, the sun holds our attention this week with multiple bright regions flaring and launching solar storms. Predictions from NASA and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, show that the solar storm is expected to impact Earth by midday tomorrow, as in Thursday. Yes, listen to me, tomorrow. This storm that has been kicking up all week has been caused by a massive coronal mass ejection, a massive one, a CME. Now, I'm not here to cause panic, fear in the streets. What I am saying is this announcement is the first time I have ever seen this warning. I don't know why mass media has chosen, by the way, it was breaking news about 2 hours ago. So, has mass media picked up on the edge? Do they want panic in the streets with everything else that is going down right now? Probably not. But midday tomorrow. Now, it could be a big nothing burger. It could, and I hope that it is. This kind of warning just freaks me out. So, there you go. And so I'm reading this, and it's breaking news, and thank you, Renee, right? Renee, I would have missed this. The announcements came out from, by the way, let me get this to you. The announcement came from NOAA and came from space.com, I believe. And so, Science Live. So I would have missed it. And immediately I started thinking about my dream. Now, I'm not saying it's prophetic or anything like that, but I have often thought, what if? This is something that is not in our control. I don't want to see it happen. I don't want to scare anybody. I'm just saying, keep this on the back of your mind, just in case. With that, I am your host, Jimmy Church, taking another swig of my River Moon Coffee, rivermooncoffee.com. Tonight on the program, Will Carroll is here. He is the drummer for Death Angel. Tomorrow, Linda Moulton Howe. We have so much to discuss. We're going to be doing that tonight with Will, too, as well. But Linda's got some amazing things that are cooking over at Earth Files, and I spend a lot of time over at Earth Files each day. So we're going to be going through that, and of course, we're going to discuss all of the current world news that is going on this planet. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. Will Carroll is up next. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. At JChurchRadio. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. On the Game Changer Network and KGRA, the planets. All right, it's going to be a great night, great conversation. Will Carroll is next. Stay with me. I'll be right back after this short break.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com. Go Beckley Teppy.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRARadio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com. The Dark Zone presents another epic live streaming event from America's most famous haunted crime scene, the Lizzie Borden Murder House. A 4-day live streaming event, August 28th through the 31st, 2020. Following the smash success of the first-of-its-kind live streaming event at the Conjuring House, the Dark Zone Network is proud to present a worldwide interactive live streaming event from the notorious double murder scene, the Lizzie Borden House in Fall River, Massachusetts. This is the perfect warm-up for Halloween. Full access to the continuous around-the-clock 4-day event is just $19.99. Discounted tickets are on sale now, and you can check out the free preview on Thursday, August 27th. For more information and to watch the Lizzie Borden Murder House live, please visit thedarkzone.tv or just click on the banners at jimmychurchradio.com. That's www.thedarkzone.tv.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. Getthetea.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. The tea that makes you go.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey. You're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, right here, Thursday, Linda Moulton Howe. Always great when Linda stops by. That's tomorrow night. Tonight, our guest is Will Carroll, the drummer for Death Angel. Now, let me set the stage for you. 2 months ago, after Death Angel was nominated for their first Grammy Award, Will had contracted COVID-19 while the band was on tour, and he was on a ventilator in a medically induced coma, fighting for his life in a San Francisco hospital. Tonight, we're going to discuss the visions he had during those 12 days in a coma and how it has changed his life. We're also going to talk some music. This is Fade to Black. We'll talk some spirituality. And, of course, what it's like to play in one of the great metal bands in the world today. Death Angel has released 9 studio albums, 2 demo tapes, 1 box set, 2 live albums, and is one of the big 8. That's right, which includes Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, Testament, Exodus, and Overkill. Their recent studio album is Humanicide, and was released on May 31st, 2019 on Nuclear Blast. You like that? Hey, Will, welcome to the program. And you like that slip? Hey. You like that slip up? Homicide.
Hey, it almost sounds better.
There you go. Welcome to the show, man. And listen, you get the first-time guest disclaimer. So let me get that out of the way, and then we'll move on, which is this. Will, it's just you and I sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends, and where that conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends. But we're going to end as friends. There you go. You ready?
Sounds good, yeah.
I have so much that I want to talk with you tonight about, but I want to get some of the like generic stuff out of the way, which for me is some of the most interesting, which is because I'm a musician. You're a drummer, and did you grow up? Did you do the normal route, right? Wooden spoons and pots and pans and driving your parents crazy? Did it start like that for you?
More or less, yeah. Even before I could remember, my parents told me I would just constantly be beating on the pots and pans and the typical thing kids do. But I just stuck with it. They got me a toy drum set when I was like 5 or 6, and that just progressed. And I took music in school and just started playing real drums by the 5th grade.
By the 5th grade. And so just help me out here because this is going to be really interesting. What year was that?
Oh, that was 1983.
83. Okay, so 83, the world of music really was taking off like it had never done before, right?
Yeah.
MTV, Sunset Strip, San Francisco, the metal scene, New York, Orange County, Los Angeles, everything coming out of England at that time. Is that what you were doing? Were you what was the music that you were playing in 83?
Oh, I was way into heavy metal by then. I had been for a couple years. I got turned on to Kiss when I was 5 years old. I have 2 older brothers and an older sister who are all listening to rock music, 70s rock. And I got turned on to Kiss and Aerosmith and AC/DC and Led Zeppelin and The Who and all those bands like at a really young age. So when bands like Rat and Twisted Sister and Motley Crue started coming out, that's when I started getting into heavier stuff.
Yeah, that you know what's really funny? I was a big hair band guy. Van Halen and things, Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and the stuff that was before that, of course. But how do I want to say this in the right way. The first time I heard Motley Crue's first album, and
Too Fast for Love.
Too Fast for Love. And then and I listened, it wasn't the guitar tone that I was listening to on that. It was Tommy Lee. Yeah, Tommy Lee freaked me out. When Shout at the Devil came out and that friggin' cowbell, kink, 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 right? And I'm like, who is this guy? These guys are the most metal thing I've ever heard. And what they turned into is different. But the impact of those first 2 records on me, I thought those dudes were really rebels. And it was Tommy Lee that I listened to in that band. It wasn't the guitars or the vocals or even the songs. Tommy just had a way of playing those drums.
He was definitely the best musician in the band, even to this day. But yeah, for me too, the drums, I noticed the drums before anything else when I first heard Looks That Kill, I think is the first song I heard. And I also liked their image too. I liked the way they looked. So I bought Shout at the Devil like right away. And I still love it. I still think it's a classic, great LA metal album.
Man, okay, we're going to move on from Motley Crue. But it was about 2 weeks ago. I'm goofing around in the studio and I'm writing and things. I've got YouTube running in the background, playlists flying. And I can't remember the video. It was from the first album. I can't remember the video. Motley Crue rolls on and they shot it at like Gazzari's or something. And I'm watching, I couldn't believe what I was watching. And it was just hysterical. And back then, I thought it was the coolest thing. I still do. It's not even what I'm saying. But it's funny how you see it now so many years later. And it's got all of the elements of Spinal Tap and coolness all rolled into one.
Yeah, I believe their first video was Livewire.
I think that's Livewire. It was Livewire. Yes. So
and compared to the other LA bands, they looked the coolest. Like them and Wasp. I thought Wasp looked really cool as well. They weren't so feminine looking, and like they weren't wearing pink. Not yet, at least. They were still in black leather and looked kind of intimidating. So yeah, I definitely digged it.
I'll tell you, we're going to move on. But I also was in the hospital at about that time, 83. And I got really, really, really sick. And I'm in the hospital. I was out. I didn't do 12 days. I didn't have a 12-day stretch, but I had 4 days, right? So I woke up 4 days later. I didn't know what had happened. I had the coolest dreams ever, right? And and I wanted to go back. I was kind of bummed, right? I was like, man, that That was pretty awesome. Well, anyway.
Wow, you and I had very different
yeah.
experiences.
We'll get into that. But anyway, next to my hospital bed, some people had come by and visited, and they dropped off a stack of magazines. And the top it was Kerrang, and on the cover is Wasp. And I'm looking at the band, and I looked at Chris Holmes, and I went, that dude is rock and roll. Right, he had. You remember he had the circular saw blades on his shoulders. You remember just
yeah.
And later, and this is how life is strange. About a year later, 2 years later, I come to L.A. To be a guitar player, and one of the first people that I met when I came here and became friends with, we're still friends to this day. Slept on my couch for years. Chris Holmes. And,
wow.
And I can't tell you, man. I would sit with Chris for weeks and play guitar. Just sit and play and play and play, and we became really good friends. He's been on this show, so there you go. Okay, so now, as things, you're from San Francisco.
I was born in Daly City. I was born in San Francisco, but grew up in Daly City. I went to elementary school and high school in Daly City, and then when I turned 18, I moved back to San Francisco, and I've been here ever since.
Okay, so because San Francisco and the metal scene that was going on up there was a singular event. What was going down here in LA was different than what was going on in San Francisco. Also different than what was going on. The real metal here in LA was down in Orange County, and it was totally underground.
Right.
And then, I'm talking metal history with you, but for the audience, what was going on in the East Coast, but San Francisco had its own thing going on. Were you a part of that?
Yes, I was a part of like the second wave or third wave of thrash bands. Like when Metallica was playing the clubs, I was too young at that time to go to shows. By the time I started going to shows and playing shows was around 87, and the scene was still strong and lasted for a good 5-6 more years. But yeah, so I was a part of the tail end of it, I guess. But I had a high school thrash metal band, and we played all the famous clubs, the Stone, the Omni, and we opened up for all the bands, Violence Forbidden. So yeah, I was definitely around.
Yeah, and so I know that you were playing those clubs, but what was so now that the thrash and the metal scene was so strong, what were you listening to at that point?
Definitely predominantly thrash, and in classic heavy metal. By the late 80s, I started getting into death metal, which is like the next step beyond thrash metal. But yeah, it was a lot of thrash metal for sure, and not just Bay Area thrash, stuff from all over the world, especially Germany. Germany was one of my favorite thrash metal scenes in the 80s, for sure.
Yeah, the stuff that was coming out of Europe, and it continues to come out of Europe, freaks me out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good. Now, this is where I'm actually going to segue in a weird way, but follow me on this.
Okay.
One of the things about a thrash metal band, a thrash metal band, guitars cool, vocals great, songs great, industrial, whatever it may be, but it's the drummer and the endurance to get through a set. And I was always so impressed with that. That's why I could never be a drummer. There's no way I could do it. But and you know what I'm talking about. You guys are Olympic athletes, right? And so your health has always been something that you've had to take care of as a drummer in a thrash band.
You'd think so.
How do you do it? I mean, how do you do a 60-minute set of absolute insanity? You've got to. Do you eat right? Do you jog? Or is your exercise rehearsal and sound check and then playing the show?
I mean, my routine now is definitely different than it was before I got sick. But prior to getting sick, my routine was, we'd sound check. I would warm up for an hour before we go on, like just on a drum pad or like on my lap or whatever. And I just get as much sleep as possible on tour. And I sleep quite a bit. I'll take naps before the show, hours before the show. I'll take a nap and just make sure I wake up within the hour. And as far as eating, I make sure I don't eat 2 hours before we play. And I'm definitely eating better now than I was then. So yeah, it's basically just making sure I don't eat too late and getting plenty of rest. And once you go on stage, like this, your adrenaline turns on. Like it's like a flick of a switch.
Sure.
And you don't even think about it. No matter if the set's a half an hour or an hour and a half, you just don't think about it. It's just what I do. I've been doing it for so many years that I'm conditioned to do it.
Now, were you ready? You got the nod for Death Angel back in 2009, right? And were you ready for that? And were you a fan of Death Angel going into it?
Totally. I knew their whole discography very well. So when I did jam with them for the first time, we ended up playing almost a full set's worth of music. So it was a pretty easy transition for everybody, it seemed like, because I knew the whole catalog pretty much. And I was a fan. I've seen them many times before. Like one of my first club shows was Death Angel at the Stone in '87. So and I knew some of the guys for many years. I went to high school with Ted, the rhythm guitar player. And so it was a very comfortable situation. I knew them all already, and I knew the songs, and it just was a smooth transition.
Now, touring takes its toll. And yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't matter if you're touring with Barry Manilow, you're going to get worn out. It's what it is. You're staying up late. You're sleeping crazy hours. You're on a bus. You're in a different city every single day. You're not eating the best. And you want to have fun too as well. And that takes its toll. Plus you got a gig to do each night.
Yeah.
And doing that for how many years, right? 11 years up to 2020. Were you on the tour? I want to get this in before we get to the break. What was your health like in 2020? Was it, 10 years of recording and being on the road and things where maybe 2020 you weren't at your tip-top shape?
Absolutely. I was drinking more than I had on any other tour. It was just years of drinking on tour had this all come together on that last tour, and I was drinking a bottle of Jameson a night. I'd get some help from people, but I would drink the lion's share.
Right.
And just definitely I wasn't taking care of myself. I was heading for disaster, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, and this is what when the story broke about you, I picked up on it immediately, and I watched a couple of the videos that you had done talking about the experience. I watched the news channels up in San Francisco. There was heavy coverage on this, and of course, into the media. But I started reading into this, and I thought, holy crap. The reason why, for me, is that when you got sick, coronavirus and COVID-19, it was still a rumor, right? If you know what I mean. It was like people were talking about it, but the pandemic hadn't started and flights hadn't shut down. The world was just now starting to talk about it. Did you even know what was going on?
Yeah, during the tour, like mid-tour, our show in Italy got canceled in Milan because of COVID. And that's when it really got on our radar. Like when we left for the tour, it had just started and we were hearing news trickling in. But when you're on tour, you're kind of like in an insulated world and you're around the same people every day. And you're kind of like in a lawless environment. So you don't really pay attention to the outside world too much. But when the show in Milan got canceled, that kind of was an eye-opener. And then we were starting to hear more and more about it. And then the very last show of the tour in Hamburg, I believe, Germany, got canceled, and people were already sick on the bus by that point. and I was starting to feel under the weather the last couple of days. But there were a couple other people on the bus who were really sick, so it was going around.
Now, I've been on tour, and we all know what that's like. Somebody gets a cold. Well, you guys are on a bus, which is just a sealed environment. Everybody's sick, 3 days later. Everybody's got the cold. Did you guys think that may be what was going on? It was just a cold? Did you guys think it was coronavirus?
No, at the time, when people started getting sick, like mid-tour, like our tour manager was throwing up for like 24 hours straight. But then she seemed okay, so we just thought it was a stomach bug. And our bus driver got the same thing, and he was puking while he was driving. And so, yeah, we just thought it was a stomach bug. But in hindsight, I mean, it was probably something more, obviously. But at the time, we didn't think it was anything to be too concerned about. And but then our guitarist Rob got really ill the last week, like maybe 4 or 5 days before I started feeling ill, and that's when we started getting a little worried, like maybe this is floating around in the bus. And our lighting technician got ill, and yeah, it was a bad scene.
Now, what? Okay, so for you personally, what happened first?
What happened? Okay, I woke up like the second or third last day of the tour, just feeling a little off, like kind of low energy and just that pre-sickness feeling. But it wasn't too intense or anything, so I didn't have a fever or anything like that, so I wasn't too concerned. But I did stop drinking, and I stopped hanging out backstage after the show and hanging out in the after party and whatever. After we played, I'd go straight to the bus and just go to my bunk and try to sleep it off, and just taking vitamins and doing whatever I could to try to fight it back and knock it out. But when the last show got canceled and we had a day off because the show wasn't happening, so we went to a steakhouse in Germany, and I just didn't have an appetite at all. And oddly enough, when we were at the steakhouse, the person cooking, the chef, collapsed from a fever and got rushed out of the restaurant in an ambulance. And no one seems to talk about that, but all of Death Angel, or most of Death Angel, were there, and all of Exodus were there having dinner. And the guy preparing our meal had to get rushed to the hospital. So that's kind of alarming.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm picturing all of that going down, and you're not feeling right. And let's you're not a small guy, right?
Right.
And so you at a steakhouse with the guys, and you're not eating steak. At that point, something's wrong. I mean, something's wrong, and probably everybody else does too.
Absolutely. I didn't drink. Everyone was drinking beer or having wine and just having a really good time. And I spent over $100 on that plate, and I didn't eat like 10% of it. So, and then when we got to the airport in Germany, I started breaking out in a fever. Like when we got on the plane, on the flight home is when I really noticed how bad I was feeling. Like I broke out in a fever and just cold sweats. And on the flight home, I was really, really worried, and I knew it was something serious.
Yeah, and we're good. That's exactly where we're going to pick up after the break. So we'll stop right there. Let me ask you a couple of quick questions before the break.
Sure.
Favorite drummer?
It's John Bonham.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. It's not a dumb question. It's actually a legit question, and I'm glad you said John Bonham. All right. How... when we talk about technical drumming, and by the way, today's Ginger Baker's birthday.
Hey,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, right. It's a cool night to be on the show. When you look at John Bonham, most people don't look at him as being a technical drummer. He's absolutely one of the most insane things that ever walked this planet. Nearly impossible to play, right? Every time I hear somebody play Bonham or trying to play Zeppelin, it's never quite right, is it?
Absolutely. Even his own son, Jason Bonham, who does a great job, but even he can't replicate it perfectly. It's really hard. It's not just the playing too. It's just the sound, the tone of his drums, and the way everything was mic'd. And it just, no other drums sound like that, and it's just impossible to replicate.
Yeah, I was I did a copy song of Zeppelin and for this thing that I was recording, right? And I decided I'm going to play the drums on this, right? Okay, so this is what I thought. Oh, you know what? I'll just play one bar and then I'll loop it for 4 and I'll get the verse together and then I'll, and so I go and I do that. And then I laid it over and I went, wait a minute. He plays something different every single bar. And then I went and listened. Now I really listened. It's a 9-minute song. He didn't play anything twice for 9 minutes, man. Everything was just a little bit different.
That's the 70s, man. Most drummers played like that. And that's kind of a lost art nowadays. Because like you said, a lot of people just play it for 4 times and just loop it. Like, make it as perfect as possible and as syncopated as possible all the time, and it just kind of loses the human factor after a while.
Do you guys play live in the studio?
No. Rob, our lead guitarist and main songwriter, he pre-records a scratch track guitar to a click track, and then I record my drums over that.
Okay. Do you do one pass with the drums? Do you play from beginning to end?
I try not to. I mean, but yeah, when we listen to it back, after I get through a song, we'll play it back, and I may not hit something quite as hard as the other time, so I have to go back in and punch in and just fix that up. But I that's the goal, though, is to try to get one whole take and plow right through it.
Our guest tonight is Will Carroll, drummer for Death Angel. When we come back after this break, we're going to pick up. The last show of the tour was canceled in Hamburg, and he gets on the plane and flies back to San Francisco. I can't imagine what he went through, but that's where we're going to pick up when we come back. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Will, what's your Twitter?
It is, what is it? It's Bleeding Priest.
Bleeding
Bleeding Priest.
Bleeding Priest. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, my name is Billy Carson, and I am a best-selling author and the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Together with my team, we have built an all-new conscious streaming TV platform designed with every family member in mind. If you have ever wanted to travel the world and attend lectures and workshops from your favorite speakers but weren't able to, look no further. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. There are dozens of workshops and lectures from speakers you know and love. We have also included amazing categories to assure that your consciousness is entertained and elevating on a daily basis. Amazing interviews, ancient history, ascension knowledge, wisdom teachings, documentaries, conspiracies, mysteries, health and fitness, conscious cooking, meditations, finance, yoga, and so much more. To start your free trial on any mobile device or computer, surf to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4, ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Again, visit ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer. Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. We are also Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, right here, Linda Moulton Howe. Tonight, Death Angel drummer Will Carroll is here talking about what he went through earlier this year. It is an amazing story and experience. And Will, thank you, seriously, man, for taking the time and going through this. It's
my pleasure.
Well, you know, I think that people need to hear this, you know, and I think it's actually as simple as that. And the setting the stage for this, you know, because you see the storm brewing, you know, Italy gets canceled, Hamburg gets canceled, everybody's getting sick around you, the cook gets carried out of the restaurant. And yeah, right. And so the storm is brewing, but now one of the biggest nightmare scenarios anybody can have is now you know you are not well, but now you've got to face the airports. You've got to be sitting in a seat for hours on end. You've got to go through customs and luggage and this and that. All that where that's the opposite. That's the last place you want to be, right?
Oh yeah, man. I just try to stay on my seat the whole flight home and not try to interact with anybody. But, you know, you're in a plane that's so enclosed and recirculated air. So I hope I didn't get anyone else sick, you know. But I was in the mind frame of I just want to get home. You know, I don't want to be stuck in Europe in this situation if it is what I'm worried about. You know, like if I do have COVID, just the thought of being stuck in Europe would have been a nightmare, you know, even though it was a nightmare when I got home anyways. But yeah, it was really scary. I didn't know what to do. I just stayed in my seat as much as I could.
Now, how many days have transpired at this point from when you first started to feel strange to the plane and the trip home?
3
days, right? This thing came on like it just did not relax. It just swelled up to insanity.
Right. I mean, like I said, as soon as I started feeling a bit off, I stopped smoking pot. I stopped drinking, smoking anything, and just trying to flush it out, drink as much water as possible, and take vitamins. And yeah, it just got worse by the day, and then eventually by the hour.
And okay, now you land in the United. No, actually, let's go all the way to San Francisco. You made it, right?
Yeah.
You make it to San Francisco. Are you walking at this point?
Yes.
What? Take us through that.
So like walking through the airport? You mean,
Yeah.
or-
I mean, after that long of a trip, and the illness is taking over your body. What happened next?
Well, we were standing in line at customs. Me and Rob, the lead guitarist, and he was sick as well. He was like a little bit further ahead of me. He had the sickness like 4 or 5 days before I did, but he was still sick, and we were both sweating and had fevers, and we were just looking at each other like, oh my God, are we going to be able to go home? We just thought they're going to pull us aside and take us away and quarantine us. But I don't know how, but we got through. No one, we didn't get checked for temperature or anything like that. We just, I can't explain it, but we got through, and I got my bags, and I caught a cab, and I called my better half, Lishan, and just told her I'm feeling horrible. Like, this is the worst I've ever felt since you've known me, and she's known me for 15 years. And when I got home, she took one look at me and was like, "Oh my God, you look awful." And I went straight to bed, and then I was home for 5 days, maybe. Yeah, 5 days, and the fever increased every day. I was bedridden, just sweating profusely all the time, and the last couple of days are a blur. I don't remember anything because my fever was so out of control. But from what Lishan tells me, I was behaving really weird. I was like in a trance, kind of, just sitting on the bed, Indian style, in a trance, just staring at the wall, like I was meditating. And I'm not that kind of guy. She's never seen me do anything like that before. I never have. I don't meditate. But I was in a trance, and once I started struggling to breathe, I was struggling to breathe when I was sleeping, but I also had sleep apnea, so that wasn't too out of the norm. But once I started struggling to breathe, she was like, "Okay, we have to take you to the hospital." And I don't remember any of that. I don't remember going to the hospital or being at the hospital. Apparently, I was texting people and letting them know that I'm going to be asleep for a few days. They told me they're going to have to probably put me in a coma because my body is going to be fighting. My body was fighting back the ventilator. So I was coherent enough to interact with my brothers and sister and Lishan, but I don't remember any of that. And the next thing I remembered was waking up and all the dreams I had.
So, and I find that very interesting, just right there, right? The evidence of the text is there, right? You have people go, "Yeah, you were texting me." I was
blown away,
right,
when I heard that, because those last couple of days I don't remember at all.
Okay, all right. It's 12 days. 12 days on a medically induced coma. You don't remember going into the coma. You don't remember going to the hospital. Did it seem like when you came out of the coma that it was 12 days?
No, but I was so confused. Like I said, I didn't remember going to the hospital. So when I woke up and realized I wasn't at home, and I just saw, tubes coming in and out of me and machines all around me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in a hospital, I think. And I thought I was still dreaming. I thought I was still in hell, or I thought I had gone back to hell again. But It just didn't seem real, and I was so confused. And then there was a nurse right there, and she looked pretty surprised too because I was awake, and they thought I was going to die. And she was when she was walking away, I just kind of like bumped her side with my hand the most I could, and I asked her if I was still in hell because it just seems so surreal, and she just walked away.
And for you, okay, so let's go to these visions, these dreams. For the first thing to come out of your mouth, right, is "Am I still in hell?"
Right.
I'm assuming that's and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you were in hell.
That's what it seemed like when I was under. When I woke up, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like for the whole following day, I couldn't decipher it, and I was just trying to figure out if it was real or not, and what's happening. The doctors had already told me I was in a hospital, and I was rushed to the hospital 12 days ago, and they didn't tell me I was in a coma for 12 days. I didn't put two and two together. And when they finally did tell me I was in a coma for 12 days, I almost went into shock. I was like, oh my God. And yeah, like the memories of going to hell are still burned in my brain. Like it was so vivid, it was so real, and I was confused. I just assumed I had died. I was like, wow, I'm in hell. Like when did this happen? How did this happen? All of a sudden I'm in hell. So I guess I assumed I was dead.
What did you see when describe these vivid images? What was hell like? What did you see?
It was a bummer. Going down to hell I don't remember that well. I just remember kind of like falling into a black abyss. But when I was in hell, I was laying naked on a stalagmite type of cave, like on the hard rock floor, and there were people moaning all around me, like not moans of ecstasy, but moans of agony all around me. It was very cavernous and just lots of shadows and very dark. And there was a demon type of being, a female demon, sitting on some kind of molten rock throne, and her skin was all red. She was kind of like melding with the throne, like she was kind of dipping in and out of it, kind of. And she had glowing yellow eyes, fangs, and horns, and she was hideous. So she wasn't sexy or some kind of comic book looking villainess, nothing like that. I didn't want to look at her. She was so horrifying. And I just wanted to get away, but I couldn't move because I was this giant, blob-like creature, a mix between like a smaller Jabba the Hutt or the guy at the end of Weird Science, Chet, when he turns into that big blob thing.
Yeah, right.
So something like that, and I was being punished for sloth, and to make things worse, I was vomiting blood. I kept on vomiting blood, and it was really painful. And I eventually had a heart attack and died in hell. And I had heart failure during my coma, so that's kind of weird. And I died in hell, and then I shot up to heaven. Like I remember being lifted and seeing the cavern going away beneath my feet. And I went up into the sky, or like just some kind of light place. And that was scary too. I didn't want to be there either. I didn't like it. I didn't like being dead. I felt horrible. I wanted to say bye to everybody. I never got a chance to say a lot of things, to do a lot of things. So I was feeling like a weird sense of regret and and guilt, kind of. It was a horrible feeling being up in heaven too. I didn't like it. The angels were zipping around me, and they were really vicious and mean looking, and it wasn't relaxing and peaceful at all. But that didn't last very long. And the next thing I remember, like, I was in a nightclub with a bunch of friends in like Modesto or Fresno or somewhere in the middle of nowhere, California. And I was wondering, what the hell am I doing here? You know, maybe I was back in hell.
But yeah, Modesto, that'll do it for you, especially in August.
Yeah.
Now, this is, and because you don't know that you're in a medically induced coma, you can't get out of this dream, right? You can't wake up. You don't know this, though. And one of the freaky things about having a scary dream is getting out of it, and you know that when you do, it was just a dream. But for you, that is a real nightmare. You can't get out of this, and it is continuing for you. Did the trip to hell seem like, I'm just going to ask directly, did it seem non-ending? Did it seem unescapable?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, time's kind of a hard thing to gauge when I'm seeing all these bizarre visions and being in a coma. But it just seemed like that was going to be my eternity. It felt like it was the end, and this is how it ends. You know, it was awful. So like when I woke up in the hospital bed, I just thought I had just dipped into another nightmare. You know.
Did you ever get up? Were you able to move around in hell at all?
No.
So
I was just laying there.
That's what hell would be, I guess, wouldn't it? You know.
Yeah.
So the lady, the female demon, was she looking at you?
Yes.
And you just had that for eternity, right? That's it.
She was laughing. She was like laughing her ass off. She was looking at me and just laughing and laughing, and the more blood I threw up, the harder she'd laugh.
Incredible. Now, with I'm going to say this too as well. Death Angel, for me, the name for the band is a cool name, but
totally.
But it implies something that I don't think Death Angel is. Right? And right now I could be way off here. But Death Angel's gone through phases of different musical styles, and if you really look at the lyrics or things, but you know, I know the band's called Death Angel, everybody, but there's actually a positivity that is what the band is about. Am I wrong in saying it that way?
No, not at all. Ever since their second album, they dropped the whole like satanic lyrics or just uber violent lyrics. The first album's chock full of them, but they were young. Like everyone's first thrash album is the most violent,
right?
But but from their second album on, their lyrics have been on a more positive trip for sure. Especially since I've joined the band. I think Mark as a lyricist has flourished in the last like 3 or 4 albums, and Rob too.
Now, but there are people out there that would go, that would hear this, these visions and the band Death Angel and the drummer. Well, you know what he asked for? They were satanic, right? They want to go down that road, but they actually don't understand who you are or what the band is about. But let's back up. Let's back up before 2009. Did you ever dabble into any of the dark stuff? Were you interested in it? And do you feel that maybe some of this is payback for something that you may have done in the past?
I was never like a practicing Satanist and trying to cast spells on people or anything like that. But I do have a lot of books about it, and I read up on it quite a bit, and I had a very, very large interest in it. And just movies and music. The more satanic, the better. I just liked it for some reason. I was attracted to it, but I never did anything bad like sacrificing an animal or anything stupid like that. And I wasn't a Satanist. I was just interested in it and kind of liked it a little too much, I guess. So in that aspect, I don't think I'm being punished for that, or I regret anything about that. But I mean, I was a bastard when I was a teenager, so I just, I did a lot of stuff I regret when I was a kid. So maybe karma finally got me. I believe in karma, that's for sure. But on a spiritual or evil level, I don't think I'm being punished for anything like that.
Now, how have you changed? And I know that's a broad stroke of the pen, right? But there is Will at the steakhouse in Hamburg, right? There's Will today. Has there been a transformation?
Absolutely. Before this all happened, I write music in my other bands, and I write lyrics that would be very, just beyond just like evil lyrics. They were just like blasphemous, like just totally ripping Christ apart and just ripping God apart, and it's really, really vicious lyrics. I don't ever see myself writing lyrics like that ever again. But aside from that, I still listen to all the evil bands, and I still watch evil movies, and I'm into it still, But I take God a lot more seriously, if there is a God. I'm definitely cautious now. I don't take anything too lightly.
No, it's you know what? It's better to play the odds, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's better to play the odds. You just never know. You know what? I say this all the time, Will, and I joke about it, but it's really the truth. If you take not somebody satanic or go the opposite of that. Go the most atheist person in the world, right? There's no God, there's no heaven, there's no hell, there's nothing. When you die, you're dirt in the ground and it's over, right? Take that person and the plane is going down, right? The ship is sinking. That's the most spiritual person on planet Earth.
Totally.
Right there. I got it all wrong. I'm sorry. Right?
Yeah.
You got to play the odds, man. Play the odds. It's okay. It's okay to be a good person,
Yeah. When I did my first interview, the one that kind of went viral, like I was quoted saying, like I believe in a higher power, and I do. I believe that prayer does make a difference. Not that I'm just discrediting the science end of it all. Of course, the doctors saved my life. But I think everyone all around the world who were praying for me, everybody who was praying for me and lighting candles and just had me in their hearts, I think that really helped too. And that's something I never would have considered or even believed in or anything before this all happened. But that's definitely that's changed me. I take prayer a lot more seriously now, and health wise, I'm just drinking way less. I quit drinking for 2 months, about 2 months, and now I'm drinking wine here and there. But I don't plan to ever go back to the way I was before, drinking a bottle of whiskey or drinking any whiskey for that matter.
Let me ask you this before the break. 12 days in a coma, it's not a horribly long time, but for a musician or a drummer, dude, what was it like? What was it like to get out of bed? What were your legs like? You need that double kick drum action. What happened?
I had to learn how to walk again. I couldn't hold my own weight for the life of me. So I was bedridden for like 4 days after my coma, and finally I started getting physical therapy. But I had to be assisted everywhere I went. And when I left the hospital, I was on a walker still, and I had a physical therapist coming over, a nurse coming over to show me exercises to walk again. And I did it pretty quickly. I stuck to it, I was determined, and I was walking by like the end of the week once I got home, and I didn't play drums for another 3 weeks, or maybe even a month. I just had to make sure I was healthy before I could leave the house and go to a studio or anything like that. And once I felt confident to do that, I went to my drum kit in San Francisco, at my studio in San Francisco, and it came back almost immediately. I couldn't believe how easily it did come back. I mean, I don't want to say it was easy, but I was expecting it to be a struggle to get back to speed or even half of where I was before. But it only took a couple of practices, and I started feeling really good again behind the kit. So that was the easy part. But the walking part was horrible. That was the worst of it all, actually, not being able to walk. Man, I can only imagine what people have to go through from being in a coma for a year, you know? I mean,
right.
Geez.
Right.
Jeez.
Right. And certainly, you know, when you're a musician, guitar player, doesn't matter, you know, drummer, and you go through something like that, the first thing you're going to think about is, man, can I still play?
Right.
Can I still do it? And wow, and the not knowing. But you got on the saddle pretty quick.
Yeah, man, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know which way it was going to go. I had a drum pad at home, so I was just, you know, doing my paradiddles or, you know, whatever. So my upper half of my body felt good, but I still didn't know what my double bass was going to be like, or even my single kick, you know. And I was really worried about my lungs. I thought I was going to get winded really quickly, or just be out of breath, or my heart might feel funny, because my heart took some damage from the heart failure. And so there was a lot of questions, and I was nervous. But after an hour of playing, I wasn't winded, and my lungs felt fine. My breathing was okay. And then a week or two after that, I got a clean bill of health for my heart. My heart had fully recovered. So that was one less thing to worry about when I started playing more strenuous drums or playing for longer periods of time. And things are going good right now, though. It feels good.
You know what? This is what's funny. I got to take a break, but now you're that guy. And this is what I mean. You're that guy. You know, a couple of kids over, you know, I wonder what hell is like. Well, you know what? Go ask him right there. That's the guy you need to go and talk to. Will, stay right there. We need to take a break. This is
right.
Fade to Black. Now, Will,
yes.
we talked about the, you know, what's down below. I want to talk about what you saw up above, too, as well. That's very interesting. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Will Carroll, drummer for Death Angel, is with us tonight. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com. Come join us for the StarWorks UFOs and Artificial Intelligence Conference, November 6th through the 8th at the Aquarius Resort in Laughlin, Nevada. A full weekend of events with Grant Cameron, James Fox, Alan Stivelman, Sid Goldberg, Jaime Maussan, Lynn Katai, Paul Hynek, and another dozen great speakers and presenters. Special Fade to Black Sky Watches with Hoffman's Optics on Thursday and Friday nights, movie premieres, a cocktail party, a dinner gala. Get your discount ticket packages today at StarWorksUSA.com. I'll be there along with the entire Fade to Black crew. Start planning your weekend now for the StarWorks UFOs and Artificial Intelligence Conference, November 6th through the 8th at the Aquarius Resort in Laughlin, Nevada. Just visit StarWorksUSA.com. Go Beckley Teppy.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
The Dark Zone presents another epic live streaming event from America's most famous haunted crime scene, the Lizzie Borden Murder House. A 4-day live streaming event, August 28th through the 31st, 2020. Following the smash success of the first-of-its-kind live streaming event at the Conjuring House, the Dark Zone Network is proud to present a worldwide interactive live streaming event from the notorious double murder scene, the Lizzie Borden House in Fall River, Massachusetts. This is the perfect warm-up for Halloween. Full access to the continuous around-the-clock 4-day event is just $19.99. Discounted tickets are on sale now, and you can check out the free preview on Thursday, August 27th. For more information and to watch the Lizzie Borden Murder House live, please visit thedarkzone.tv or just click on the banners at jimmychurchradio.com. That's www.thedarkzone.tv.
Telepath is a weekly digital newsletter filled with the latest paranormal news, trending topics, and fresh articles from some of the most popular critical thinkers in the community today. Stay informed on your favorite paranormal podcasts and live streaming talk shows. Interact with the Telepath and upload your paranormal story or pics. It could be featured in an upcoming edition. Sign up right now for the free Telepath newsletter at paranormal.radio. That's paranormal.radio.
Including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Will Carroll, the drummer for the band Death Angel, is with us. And tomorrow night, Thursday, Linda Moulton Howe joins us. And right before the break, as we were going through Will's visions, and by the way, everybody, this happened over 12 days. He was in a medically induced coma in a hospital in San Francisco. Suffering from and fighting and battling COVID-19 at this point. You don't really know what's going on during those 12 days, Will, and you described to us, hell and your visions of that. Very, very vivid. I mean, I've never heard those types of descriptions. First off, you were there. You are going through this. It's something else to hear it from somebody else that has had something similar. But what is interesting to me is there was a cycle that happened here. You visited hell. You were there, but then you went to heaven, right? Now, how did that happen? Were you invited? Did you just what was the transition?
I shot up really quick. Once I died in hell from a heart attack, I just shot up into the air And I couldn't see myself in the hospital bed, but I could see my corpse in hell. Like when I was shooting away, I could look down and I was above it, shooting up into the sky, and it was just nothing but white. It was just like a big bright light. Just everything was white, and there were angels flying around, and they looked like I guess gargoyles maybe, but they were really really frightening, and they weren't friendly, and they were zipping all around me, and I just felt tense up there. I didn't feel like a place I wanted to be, and there was like a spirit, I guess, in front of me, like some kind of being. The heaven part's not quite as vivid, but there was a being in front of me, and I was asking it to bring me back home, to bring me back to Earth. I don't want to be here anymore, and he was ignoring me. And then around me, there were like people and angels, I guess, having a huge party, like a Caligula type of scene, like an orgy kind of, and it just was very bizarre, and I just didn't like where I was. I liked it almost as much as I didn't like hell. But it didn't seem like I was up there for nearly as long as hell. I wasn't there for too long, and I shot back down to Earth, and I was in that nightclub.
The another version of hell, by the way.
Yeah, right.
But what I find interesting here is it seems like, do you feel that you died, you were shown things, you were shown hell, you were shown heaven, and then you were given, do you feel that you were given a second crack at life?
I definitely feel like I've been given a second lease on life. Absolutely. What happened to me, I really don't know. I'm not closing the door to any possibility. This has definitely opened up my mind, this experience. I didn't really believe in anything like, paranormal or life after death or anything like that. I never really considered it. It wasn't that I dispelled it, but I just didn't even really think about it that much. And now that it's happened, anything's possible. And I definitely think I got a second lease on life. And people say it was just a result of the drugs I was taking, and it was a hallucination, or it was all drug induced. And that may be. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what happened.
Did the visions, of both heaven and hell, with the stuff that you were reading and researching and exploring before, did the visions, were they similar to things that you had seen? Were they influenced by things that you may have seen or looked at in the past?
That's a great question, and 100% yes. Hell looked exactly like how hell looks in old Marvel comics from the 70s. The way they draw hell in the 70s, old comics, that's what it looked like. A lot of like stalagmites and stalactites, and so it was definitely inspired by stuff I've read and comic books and movies I've watched, and even like the music I listen to, like Slayer's album cover "Hell Awaits." Like that's a good depiction of hell, and it kind of had that vibe, if you know what that album cover looks like.
I do.
Yeah. So all these things that I've been into throughout my life were kind of manifesting in the worst possible way. And the same with heaven. Yeah, heaven was all bright, and there was clouds, and it was all light. Everything was white and light, and it looked like a Roman palace kind of. And there's bizarre shit going on up in heaven, man.
Yeah. Would you define it as an NDE, a near-death experience?
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Okay. Let's go post coma. Now you're out. Now you're talking to the doctors and the nurses. were they telling you how bad it actually was? I'm sure that you scared them a few times. Were they forthcoming with information?
Not at first. They didn't really tell me anything. First question was, am I back in hell, or am I in hell, or am I still in hell? And she ignored me. And every time she came back into the room, I would just be like, nurse, where am I? What's happening? I had no idea where I was. I thought maybe I was still in Europe. I definitely didn't know I was in San Francisco. I thought I could have been on the other end of the world. I didn't remember. I kind of forgot about the tour too. So I just forgot like the last couple of months of my life. Like I was like, what the hell am I doing here? And where the hell am I? And they finally, like maybe like a day after being awake, they told me I was in San Francisco. So I was very relieved. I took a huge weight off my mind. And then it turned out that I was in a hospital that was like a 10-minute walk from my apartment. So I was like really relieved when I was still in my neighborhood. But as far as like the coma, they didn't tell me that until maybe like a day or so. They told me, yeah, you were in a coma for 12 days, and that was a real shock. And then they didn't tell me I had heart failure until maybe a couple days after that. They were just kind of peppering the information. They didn't want to like overwhelm me, I guess. When I first woke up, or when they first started like testing me after I woke up, they had some like questions like, do you know who the president is? Do you know what year it is? When's your birthday? Like all these like rudimentary questions. And for the president one, I it was before they told me how long I was out, so I didn't know how long I was out. So I was like, hey, I don't know, is it still Trump? I mean, he could have gotten impeached since I've been asleep, but they got a laugh out of that.
Go ahead. Yeah, the heart failure part is an interesting thing for them to tell you. When did they tell you how long you had heart failure for?
No, but it was caused by all the combination of drugs I was taking. It just slowed my blood rates down to the point where my heart just stopped beating. And they didn't tell me how long though, so that's a good question. Like, how long was I dead?
Yeah, because the reason why I bring that up is it's the transitions that you're going through in these visions, right? Right. And so when you're zipping away from your body, away from hell and up to heaven, is that when your heart failed? Right?
Good question.
And there's no way to find that out, I suppose. No, there wouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the heaven part seemed really short. So if that was a result of my heart failure, I would guess it was towards the end of my coma, like maybe the last day or two. They could probably tell me that. I'm sure they could tell me that. I'm going to look into that.
Somebody just posted your next band should be Life Angel.
Yeah.
But I'm here all week. Buy the veal, everybody. Now and then your heart gets restarted. I'm wondering if that is when you showed up in Modesto.
I mean, yeah, I was hanging out with a couple of lifelong friends, and we were hanging out at the bar, and there was some horrible local band playing on stage, and I just kept on asking, why are we here? What the hell are we doing here? Like, why? Who wants to be here? And that's the last thing I remember.
Now,
from
what about
dream world?
What about your friends and family, and of course your bandmates? Are they making comments? You seem different, man. Are they? Do they see you differently today?
Well, I've only seen one of the band members in person since I got out of the hospital. But I've lost 40 pounds, so that's noticeable that I look a little more fit, or at all fit. and the people who have seen me say I have a glow to me, and I just look a lot healthier than I have in quite a while. And I'm just everyone seems to be surprised how chipper I am. And I kind of joke about this whole thing. I'm not like permanently scarred from it or shattered from it in any way. At least I don't think I am. And so people notice that, and Ted, my bandmate, he definitely noticed it. I just had a healthy aura to me compared to how I was for the last few years. And the doctors, when after I woke up, there was doctors coming into my room who had nothing to do with my case, weren't even working on me, but had heard about me and thought I was going to die. They were telling my fiance to like get my papers in order, and it's the doctors were telling her that it was looking grave. They're using the words like grave and grim and dire, and they started telling her that, yeah, you better get your papers in order, and this isn't looking good. So when I woke up and survived, there was doctors walking in with like bewilderment on their face. They were just looking at me like, wow, and then they would say something like, you don't have any idea how close you were to dying, or something of that nature. And the more they would tell me that, the more freaked out I would get. Like, geez, that's something you don't really want to think about. They keep reminding you of it, how close I was to dying. It's just pretty frightening.
Well, and then you have the guy that we've all listened to growing up. Life is short.
Yeah.
Don't take anything for granted. Well,
yeah.
When you're young, you could give a crap, right? Life is long, and you do crazy things. But now, are you looking at life a little bit differently?
Absolutely. I used to just live day to day and didn't give the future much thought at all. I mean, even with Death Angel, like they'd be talking about a tour that's going to be happening in like 4 months, and they're excited about it. And I found it hard to get excited about anything that was beyond a week in my future. I was just so in the moment all the time. And now I'm taking health a lot more seriously because I want to live for as long as I can. I don't want to go through this again, and I want to be around for as long as I can and be with my fiance and my family, and get married and do all that, and just I take life a lot more seriously now, and my health, and also what other people think of me. Not what they think of me, but how my relationship with other people. What am I saying? I cherish my friends more and my family, and just all my positive relationships. I just consider more, and just trying to be more of a giving person, I suppose.
What do you do? What's your advice to people out there that are reading the different conspiracy theories and things that are out there about coronavirus and COVID-19, that it's fake, it's not real? The numbers are and it's not that serious. And when this stuff is going on out there, what would you say to those people that are A, reading that stuff, and two, the people that are creating those headlines?
It really upset me when I first got out of the hospital and started watching the news and following it. But after a couple of weeks of it, I just kind of got numb to it, and now I just don't even engage. I don't even read into it. If I see a comment on social media or some kind of headline or anything like that, I just try to avoid it because it just pisses me off. And it's a shame. And in my neighborhood, I live in a very urban area, lots of people around me, and still like half the people aren't wearing masks, and that bums me out too. So I just try not to get too wrapped up in it.
What do you think ultimately is going to? Is it something that is going to just go away? the part, and I'm talking about the illness itself, right? The virus, but then we have the lingering effects from it, the economy, employment, and the way that the world has been shut down because of this. It is indeed real, right? What do you think the future is going to be? Are we going to have to deal with this every single year, or do you think that this is something that is a one-time event?
I mean, first, I think it's going to be a long time before the situation is rectified. And yeah, the lingering effects are going to go on for years. But as far as like another outbreak, it's definitely possible. I would hope that we would be able to learn from this and make sure it never happens again and have safeguards. But I mean, anything's possible. I believe anything after all this.
And now let's I want to talk about your personal life. Are you watching movies like What Dreams May Come, or or Defending Your Life, or Heaven Can Wait? Right?
No, actually, I haven't watched a single movie like that. I've been watching just a lot of sci-fi movies and a lot of horror movies. Like I said, my interests haven't changed, and I still love all the things I loved growing up and my whole life. So I definitely like horror movies, and I like movies that involve the satanic matter or subject matter, or movies about devil worship. I think are scary and very interesting. So I watch a lot of those kind of movies still, and that's what I've been watching. A lot of old 70s like horror movies, satanic horror movies.
Yeah, they're the best. They're the best. Hey, did you watch, speaking of that, and don't laugh if you haven't seen it, but have you watched the new Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
No, I haven't.
You haven't checked that out? Oh, okay. All right. No, you need to, you've got 3 seasons of binge watching in front of you. You've got to go. You've got to go. Do it after the show tonight. Just sit down, start with season 1, and check that out. It's got everything. It's got everything. And when you say, I'm curious. When you say a horror movie, for you, we discuss this all the time on this show. Okay, we're not breaking new ground here.
Sure.
We talked movies all night last night on Open Lines. Your favorite horror movie all time, number 1?
I mean, I hate to pick one that's so obvious, but it's The Exorcist, man. It's The Exorcist all the way.
Yeah. That's right there. I'm with you on that. The Shining.
Oh yeah. It's funny you bring up The Shining. One of the most vivid memories I have of my flight home when I was breaking out in fever, I watched Dr. Sleep, and that's the sequel to The Shining.
Awesome movie.
Great movie. And so I was watching that when I was like breaking out in 102 fever, and I was just feeling like I was going to die. I watched that movie. So that movie has a special place in my heart and in my mind. Like whatever, I've watched it since then, and I totally was just going back to that flight when I was watching it, and just getting some little anxiety there.
Yeah, I didn't know if Dr. Sleep was going to be good. First off, to do a sequel or prequel or sequel to The Shining, we're talking about Stanley Kubrick and probably the greatest film ever made, right?
Right.
You got to come out with your A game, and I just didn't want to be disappointed. That movie was bleeping great.
It was, man. I love Ewan McGregor. I'm a Star Wars freak, so I thought he did a great job as Ben Kenobi. So I'm a fan of him. So when I saw his name attached to it, I was relieved a little bit, because I was ready to hate that movie. I was like, oh my god, a sequel? Like what is this? But I thought it was really well done. Definitely a lot of twists and turns in it, like a lot of surprises, and the way they tied in the original story was great. And I thought he did a great job as old Danny, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I recommend it to everybody I know who likes horror movies. I'm like, you got to see Dr. Sleep. I never even heard about it. I didn't even know it came out. I don't remember it being in the theaters or anything like that, but it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I think it went straight to video. Now
Okay.
how will because that's where I caught it. Do you think that your experience
Somebody asked, so I don't really have control over. I would think that some situation, but inspire a lot of lyrics of the new album. I mean, this and
of other bands?
Okay.
This conversation and take some phone calls. We might do that too. You open to taking drummer. We'll take a quick is Will. I'll be right back.
Over the Metal Guard on June.
Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
And up when the body's out of balance. Give your body some love. Log on to getthetea.com. That's change tea, which cleanses you from harmful intruders. A clean colon is one of the ways to bring the body in balance. We also carry organic supplements to help you get where you need to go. So do your body a favor. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. You can even visit our sales page to save some dough. Does anybody call money dough anymore? Anyway, if you're looking for short, helpful health tips, go to YouTube and punch in Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. So, log on to getthetea.com, shop, get balanced, then learn some cool tips at Health Matters Now. You'll be glad you did.
For current news and trending topics.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade on the River Moon Coffee banner at. And let's face it, today. Same U.S. military blue phosphor image tube. Not black and green. This is the only combat proven, simple to use, and sky watches. And now you can see what everyone has been talking about each night from your own backyard. Just call 760-231-9929. You can click on the banners on our site or visit UFONightVisionGoggles.com. That's .com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Contact KGRARadio.com.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer. Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com.
Telepath is a weekly digital newsletter filled with the latest paranormal news, trending topics, and fresh articles from some of the most popular critical thinkers in the community today. Stay informed on your favorite paranormal podcasts and live streaming talk shows. Interact with the Telepath and upload your paranormal story or pics. It could be featured in an upcoming edition. Sign up right now for the free Telepath newsletter at paranormal.radio. That's paranormal.radio.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to rush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony. Damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Will Carroll, drummer for Death Angel, is with us. An amazing, amazing story and life story, actually. And I'm going to open up the phone line, 747-228-2051. I've got calls on hold, 747-228-2051. And Will, okay, a couple of quick questions. Okay. This is just for me. Favorite guitar player?
Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, you the man. You the man. I've got, you know what I have hanging in back of me? I've got the black and white Strat from Van Halen 1 with the black pickguard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right there.
Wait, so it's one of his actual guitars? Or
no,
it's a replica?
It's a replica, man. Yeah. One of these days, though, he's going to be missing one, and it's going to show up here. But yeah, Eddie's the one, man. I did a couple of lists that I posted up on the net a few months ago, and I did it. I did like the most overrated guitar players of all time, right? I busted out that list, and I busted out the greatest guitar players of all time, and I did it because I didn't want. I'm tired of coronavirus. I'm tired of politics. I'm tired of the divisiveness. That's going on social media. But let me tell you something. You really want to start a fight? Post that list. Right? Oh, man. Oh, geez. I'm not following you anymore. I'm done with your show.
Was Eric Clapton on that list?
Eric Clapton was my number one overrated guitar player.
All right.
Woo, man. And it was really funny. It got a lot of people to that understood what I was trying to say. You can't take anything away from Clapton, but overrated. Yeah, I'm gonna put him up there. I
agree.
Oh, you do? Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
All right. Now, next, this is Fade to Black, 747-228-2051. I've opened up the phone lines. This is Fade to Black. I've got to ask you a couple of questions. One, have you ever seen a UFO?
No, but I would love to. I want it to be true so bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, the universe is a big place, right? We can't be alone, can we?
Yeah, and if the human race is going to get wiped out, then it might as well get wiped out by an alien race. That's the coolest way to go out.
Well, if they were intending on bad stuff, I think we would have seen that already.
Right.
But have you been following the news lately? You got Tucker Carlson on Fox talking about UFOs every night now. And the Navy videos. Have you seen those? The videos showing these strange objects?
Yeah, a friend of mine who's a big fan of yours, actually. He is all into the UFO thing, and he's constantly showing me videos from Navy clips of the spheres in the sky, or just anything related to that. He's always keeping me abreast.
Do you think that the Pentagon or Washington is on the verge of some announcement? Do you feel that? Because the media is talking. It used to be, Will, and anytime they would talk about a UFO sighting, they would cue up the X-Files music and then crack a joke.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that way now, does it?
No, and it'd be strange timing to start divulging information about what's really going on with UFOs. Maybe it'd be like some kind of distraction for us to forget our woes and just be focused on it. But it'd be strange timing if they did come forward right now to say something.
I know, right? And it's very interesting to me that you are saying that, because you haven't seen a UFO yourself, but you do realize and understand that it seems strange that this UFO conversation is happening during this worldwide crisis, right? Is it a distraction, or is there something else maybe going on that they could announce this UFO stuff and it kind of gets lost in the chatter of coronavirus or the economy? Because if they would have announced this last year, no coronavirus, no economy, then the UFO news is like big news.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Very strange observation from you. Very strange, because I talk about this all the time. And I think that I think that may be what's going on. I don't understand it. It's very strange. I'm happy. I'm happy that UFOs are being discussed. It's the timing of it,
Right.
It also makes me feel, let me ask you this. Do you think that the government knows that something may be about to happen with UFOs, and that's why they're discussing it now, to kind of soften the blow when something big happens?
Of course they do. Of course. This is all preparation.
You feel that way, don't you?
Yeah.
The conversations out there when it comes to UFOs, it seems like people are talking about it that you would never expect, for them to even know what UFOs are. But suddenly it's like okay to talk about, and nobody's going to tease you about it.
Right. I mean, when those guys got abducted for that, what's that movie? The guys go camping. You have to know the name of that movie. Came out in the 90s. It's based on a true story about the 4 guys camping, and they all got abducted by a UFO and got probed and got returned to their campsite, and they all have the same dreams. Do you remember this this story?
Yeah, that was my story.
That was your
no,
story.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yes. And there's a lot of events like this in the past. Like Travis Walton, Fire in the Sky. You've probably seen that movie. Where that was always kept on the fringe, right? It was always out there on the side. It was never mainstream. You know what I mean? But today, it's like the hip, fresh thing to talk about.
Well, we got to talk about something else besides people dying everywhere. So
that's right. Now, what about ghosts?
I've never seen a ghost either, and I've never felt any kind of presence ever in a room. Even when other people say they feel it, I'm immune to it. But it doesn't mean I don't believe in ghosts. But I've never seen one. When it comes to the paranormal and supernatural. And you hear people have these conversations, and it could be life after death or ghost or things. But now that you've gone through your experience and seen and felt what you have gone through, what's your perception now, and how do you have those conversations with people? When in regards to life after death?
Yes.
I haven't had that conversation with anybody yet. I don't leave my house very much. I'm scared to death to go outside for obvious reasons. But I do believe in it now. I never even considered it before. I just never even thought about it before. And when people would tell their stories on shows like Unsolved Mysteries or whatever, I would kind of take it in a sarcastic way. So now I take it much more serious, and when those stories do come on, I pay much more attention, and it kind of freaks me out because a lot of similarities in their stories to my stories, and I just never even noticed anything like that before. We wasn't even paying attention to it, and now my world is opened up to it, and it's kind of scary when someone's telling almost the exact same story as mine on a random show, someone I've never met. So it happens to a lot of people out there, and I definitely believe it happened to me. And yeah.
Now, do you watch History Channel? Do you watch Ancient Aliens, Hangar One?
I do.
You do? What'd you think of Hangar One?
I haven't watched Hangar One, but I watched all of Ancient Aliens. I love Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, that's a great show. Hangar One was my show. Just thank you for that, for not seeing it. That's great.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I set you up for that. Let's take some phone calls. You ready?
All right.
Let's do this. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Oh man, hang on, Will. I gotta click a button. That's my fault. That's my. Oh man. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jim. It's Deb from Sacramento.
Hi, Deb. We were just talking about Modesto and Sacramento being hell.
I have a fun question and a serious one. Hi, Will. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and God bless you for making it through this journey.
Well, thank you.
Wow. Well, my fun question was it hot in hell? Could you feel how was it hot?
Yes. It was just uncomfortable all the way around. It was hard to breathe. The air was thick, and it was very hot, and it was exactly how the Bible kind of depicts it, like just heat and flames and darkness and shadow, and just not a fun place.
Yeah. Okay, and my serious question is, after this experience that you've come through, do you feel a connection to God, and do you fear death?
I definitely think about death a lot more. I had a little post-traumatic spell after I got out of the hospital, and it was kind of rough, and it lasted a few weeks. I was in a bit of depression, so I definitely think about death more and consider it more. I think about life more as well. As far as being connected to God, I wouldn't say I'm connected to him, but I take him more seriously now. And I wouldn't dare mock them like I used to.
Are you going to church? Are you going to be going to church on Sundays now?
No.
Okay.
He's at church tonight. He's at Jimmy Church. That counts.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, bless you. Well, thank you so much, and nothing but good thoughts for you as you continue on this journey. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Deb.
you.
Have a great night.
Take
Go
care,
back,
Jimmy.
Go
You
back,
too.
Lee Tepe.
Go back, Lee Tepe.
Right on. And speaking about that, when we talk about religion, now there's the light and the dark, and all of that is fine, whatever people's beliefs are. But around the world, Will, we've got so many different religions, and they all can't be right. Or are they?
I think, like, whatever God you want to pray to, and whatever you call religion is every human being's right, and everyone. I think all religions are right as long if you believe in it and it's a positive part of your life. Then there's nothing wrong with it, and no matter what God you pray to, they're all good to me as long as you're not hurting other people and forcing it upon other people and starting wars over it. Unfortunately, not everybody lives by that code, but I think they're all right. Yeah, you can't just say one religion's right and all the other ones are wrong, or vice versa. So I think they're all right.
Now, when you were in hell, right? You're on the rocks, you can't move, and you're looking at this female demon, a representative for Satan, right? Or do you think you were facing the leader of hell?
I thought I was facing the leader for sure.
No kidding.
Yes.
Satan is a woman.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
In my mind, yeah.
Now, when man, everybody save your email. Send it straight to Will at deathangel.com. Now let's go to the heaven side. Did you see God?
No.
You never got that close, did you?
No. As soon as I got there, I didn't want to be there, and I didn't participate in anything that was going on around me. The whole crazy Roman orgy type of scene. I stood still, and I was asking the spirit to please bring me back to Earth. I want to go back home. I don't want to be here. I'm not ready to die. Like I said, I wasn't up there for very long. I didn't seem very long. And I don't remember shooting back to Earth. Just like in a blink of an eye, I was in that nightclub.
Well, Deb asked a very direct question. And I've interviewed many, many people that have gone through a near-death experience. And I would say, well, you know what? I don't want to ask a leading question. But Deb asked you if you feared death, right? And do you fear death now?
I'm not living in fear, and I'm still living my life and, doing the best I can. But I think about it more. Yeah, I think about mortality a lot more. I never even thought about it at all. Like I said, I live day by day, and I was just living for the moment constantly. And now I'm thinking about a year, 2 years, 5 years from now, and where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing, and hopefully be healthy. And I never considered any of these things before. So I feel like I'm a changed man in that aspect.
Well, so many, and this is my point of view, that we are all concerned. We enjoy. I think most of us enjoy life. We enjoy being on this planet. We enjoy what you're a drummer in a great band. I enjoy what I do. I don't want this to end. I enjoy my family and my daughters and my dogs and my wife and I love being here. I don't want to give this up. But if I know that positively for sure, because that's the great question, right? What happens? What happens when we die? Do things continue? Well, if I know that things do continue, right, that it's not over when you die, you're just going into the next phase of existence, I think I would be a little bit more relaxed about it. Do you feel that everything continues?
Yes. I mean, for example, I got a second chance. I was brought back to life. So that's a way of, everything continues on in a cycle. But once I permanently die, I do think I will live on in some aspect, like an astral form or as a gopher. I don't know, but I think our essence will continue after we die.
Did you? She asked actually a pretty good question. I want to explore a little bit. She asked about heat. I'm going to ask you about smells. Did you smell anything?
I don't recall.
And
that I don't recall.
And what about? This may seem strange, but it's honest. What about food? Right?
Was there food in my dreams?
Yes.
Well, yeah. When I was in heaven, I was surrounded by food, wine, and sex. That's what was going on around me. Very hedonistic scene, and very aggressive, and just not what I was expecting heaven to be. I thought it was going to be serene, and it was far from it. It was like a rager, like a huge fucking frat party or something.
Right. And I'm trying to. I know everybody is fixated on a vision here when they hear you describe this. Are we talking about a hedonistic Caligula sex scene with angels with wings?
Yes.
No kidding.
Yes.
Kind of like the cover of Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell.
Sure. Or Van Halen's 1984.
Yes. No kidding. And when you were describing the angels flying around you, was it like, with the white flowing robes and large white feathered wings and halos?
No, they looked more like gargoyles, like part man, or part humanoid, part gargoyle. They varied in color. Some were fleshy colored, some were more gray, but they had like really hulking wings. The wings weren't like an angel's wings, like pretty or fluffy or feathery. They were more leathery looking, and they were unpleasant. They were really unpleasant, and they were flying extremely fast around me, like zipping around and just being really aggressive. The whole vibe in heaven was very aggressive.
Do you feel that you're out of the closet, right? Where you're discussing something that when you hear other people talk about this in the past, you may have said, oh, okay, man, that person's crazy. That didn't happen. But now you're out of the closet. You're discussing it. Do you feel that you're out in the open now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I read people's comments on some of the articles and interviews I've done in the past couple months, and they're saying the exact same things I would have said about myself a year ago. Like shut the fuck up, or excuse me, shut the hell up, or this guy's on drugs or whatever. I would totally mock him, and I can understand why people don't believe my story. And I have nothing to gain by telling this story. I'm not doing it for publicity or trying to get promotion for Death Angel. This isn't exactly the kind of promotion Death Angel would want.
Yeah, so, right.
It's just something I remember, and I don't know. Like I said earlier, I don't know what happened and how real or not it was, but I do remember it, and it's never going to go away. It's going to be it's going to be burned on my brain forever.
Oh, there's a screenplay coming your way. Hollywood is listening right now. So what's in the future? Are we going to have concerts again? Are you what's going on with Death Angel touring, new album. What are you guys working on, and when are we going to get back to having live concerts again?
We are working on new songs. Rob is sending me. He sent me a couple songs already, and I've been jamming on them at my studio. We all have our own studios spread out, so we're communicating via email and sending files back and forth via email. So we got some new songs in the works, and we're going to move forward on recording a new album. We would have liked to have toured a lot more for Humanicide because it's not even that old, and we've only done 2 tours for it, one of the U.S. and one of Europe. But unfortunately, we can't wait forever not doing anything. We can't wait for this for touring to commence again. I mean, who knows when that's going to be? I think it's going to be another year and a half, maybe 2 years before bands start touring again normally. So we got to do something in the meantime. So this is it's a good opportunity to start writing music and working on new material. And yeah, I think concerts might happen sooner than later, but as far as bands touring and doing a regular tour cycle and playing a different city or every night, I don't think that's going to happen for a couple of years still.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how the world has changed. And it happened so fast. And my heart goes out to, everybody that's affected by it, but the concert and touring world, sound and lights and crew, and which is, it's tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of people around the world, their careers are on hold.
Yeah, and people are just complaining because they don't have concerts to go to and seeing live music, and I'm complaining too. I miss it too, but you got to think beyond that. It's really just killed a lot of people's careers, or just beyond just the musicians. All the crew and promoters and just everyone involved. It's so much money lost, but it's not just about the money. Obviously, just our livelihood and doing what we love, and this is our job, and we're lucky enough to have a job that's fun and a job we all enjoy, and it's gone right now. So we're suffering, but we're getting through it. But it sucks.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I want to thank you for taking the time tonight to come on the show and share all of this with us. It's just a very inspiring experience, and that you got through it and you're able to share it with us. And when the album gets finished, let us know. We'll get you back on, and we'll talk about that. Thank you so much, Will.
You're welcome. I just wanted to plug my radio show, if I may, real quick.
You've got a radio show?
I do. It's a music service called Gimme Metal. It's a 24-hour free heavy metal radio station. It's a free app. You can download it on your phone or tablet. It's completely free. It's 24 hours, and there's lots of musician DJs like myself and Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, and there's quite a few different people are on there every day. So my show is every Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The show is called The Fool Metal Jacket, FOOL. And I try to incorporate humor into my show, and I tell lots of road stories, and just try to keep it upbeat and play lots of different styles of metal, not just thrash metal and hard rock. And it's a fun show, so it's not too serious, not too heavy. It's heavy. The music's heavy, but the subject matter is usually on the funny end of things.
Well, the Fadernauts out there will pop this up in Twitter. Do that so I can retweet it for Will. I want to get it out there, and I'm going to go check it out right after the show, man. Thank you so much. So it's Mondays at 2 for you.
Yes.
Will, you're the best, man. What a great conversation tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's the best conversation. And all of the information. Oh, by the way, there are some really cool live streaming videos that are up with the members of Death Angel at deathangel.us, and the links are over at jimmychurchradio.com. I'm going to take a quick break. Thank you, Will. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll come back and open up the phone lines and speak with all of you. Stay with me. I'll be right back after this short break.
Here, and you are listening to my boy Jimmy Church on jimmychurchradio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at jimmychurchradio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hello, my name is Billy Carson, and I am a best-selling author and the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Together with my team, we have built an all-new conscious streaming TV platform designed with every family member in mind. If you have ever wanted to travel the world and attend lectures and workshops from your favorite speakers but weren't able to, look no further. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. There are dozens of workshops and lectures from speakers you know and love. We have also included amazing categories to assure that your consciousness is entertained and elevating on a daily basis. Amazing interviews, ancient history, ascension knowledge, wisdom teachings, documentaries, conspiracies, mysteries, health and fitness, conscious cooking, meditations, finance, yoga, and so much more. To start your free trial on any mobile device or computer, surf to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4, ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Again, visit ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
This is Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Come join us for the StarWorks UFOs and Artificial Intelligence Conference, November 6th through the 8th at the Aquarius Resort in Laughlin, Nevada. A full weekend of events with Grant Cameron, James Fox, Alan Stivelman, Sid Goldberg, Jaime Maussan, Lynn Katai, Paul Hynek, and another dozen great speakers and presenters. Special Fade to Black Sky Watches with Hoffman's Optics on Thursday and Friday nights, movie premieres, a cocktail party, a dinner gala. Get your discount ticket packages today at StarWorksUSA.com. I'll be there along with the entire Fade to Black crew. Start planning your weekend now for the StarWorks UFOs and Artificial Intelligence Conference, November 6th through the 8th at the Aquarius Resort in Laughlin, Nevada. Just visit StarWorksUSA.com. Go Beckley Teppy.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. I want to thank Will Carroll. What an amazing story. Crazy, huh? Crazy. Thank you, Will. Thank you so much. Great drummer, great guy, great band, and what an experience. I've opened up the phone line, 747-228-2051. And I want to, we can certainly talk about Will and his experiences and what you thought, what you're thinking that maybe he was seeing. I was watching some of the comments in Twitter, and I thought it was very interesting that maybe there was some trickster things going on here, that heaven was actually still hell. It's a very interesting take. Very interesting. I was 747-228-2051. As I was listening to Will describe heaven, this is what went through my mind. It wasn't a hell aspect at all. What I was thinking is, heaven is always portrayed as the best of everything for you. What you experience there is everything that you've always wanted to experience. That's kind of what, and I'm not talking about the Caligula thing necessarily, but it is, and I'm not saying that is what Will wanted or anything like that, but I'm saying it's not necessarily no crimes are committed, or how do I say this? That it's not all health food and weed germ and unicorns. It's not necessarily that running around all the time, all goodness all the time. That it's going to be something else altogether. I was watching Good Omens, and there was an element to Good Omens that I thought was interesting in the take of with the angels there in heaven, where there was a lot of bad language, and heaven wanted the final war. They wanted a nuclear exchange. They wanted this final confrontation between good and evil, and they wanted this battle. They wanted Armageddon. They wanted this nasty thing. And I forget the good angel's name. And he was perplexed. He was like, wait a minute. We don't have to do all of it. Yes, we do. We've got to go, and we've got to go and fight, and we've got to have death, and we've got to have pests, and we've got to have all of this dark. We've got to have this final battle. And it was a negative thing. It wasn't all flowers and rainbows. It definitely wasn't that. Very interesting. And listening to Will's experience kind of reminded me of Good Omens in a way. Very strange. And wow. Okay, so anyway, I want to go back, 747-228-2051. Let me make sure that the phones are on. Yes, they are. I've got them on now. 747-228-2051. Okay, I want to go back to my opening comments about this coronal mass ejection that is supposed to be taking place tomorrow. And again, I'm not here to freak anybody out. I don't want to do that. But something like this is one of my fears. Talk about a Pandora's box. All right. So I want to repeat the press release that came out today. And that is that space weather experts are warning that a solar storm, excuse me, could strike Earth tomorrow. That is Thursday, tomorrow, which would mean the disruption of electrical generation systems, the grid, the electric grid, satellite communications, and radio signals. According to space weather physicist Dr. Tamitha Skov, the sun holds our attention this week with multiple bright regions flaring and launching solar storms. Predictions from NASA and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, show that a solar storm is expected to impact Earth by midday tomorrow, as in Thursday. Now, I'm not predicting anything. They are. Will we come and go tomorrow and not see anything? Of course, that is very possible. But they're saying midday tomorrow, Thursday. The storm is caused by a coronal mass ejection. So are you concerned? Are you worried? I think that we should just have the lights on and be alert to something. We may see a disruption in things. I've got a show to produce and carry on tomorrow with Linda Moulton Howe, and are we going to see interference with that? Will we see things happen with the internet? Are you prepared? Are you prepared for anything that may happen? 747-228-2051. We have all heard predictions of things over the years. Many, 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 many things that have came and went and nothing resulted from it. There is another aspect to this where I think it's excuse me. Let me hit this River Moon coffee. I think it takes 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Somebody just said Tesla Powerwalls, my friend. Yeah. Okay. How long? Hold on. Something in my throat. How long does it take a CME to reach Earth? How long does it take? How long does it take for a CME to reach Earth? Let's see. How long does it take for a CME to reach the Earth? Okay. Oh, okay. 15 to 18 hours. I thought it was like 8 minutes. It's 15 to coronal mass ejections. Yes. Okay. Boom. I thought they traveled at the speed of light. 250,000 kilometers per second. 3,000. Okay. The fastest detected CME reached Earth in as little as 15 to 18 hours. So that's the warning. I'm wondering, okay, well, maybe that's why they're predicting midday tomorrow, Thursday. There's another aspect to this. Remember, okay, they are able to project the timing of this and the direction, right? Earth is orbiting the sun, ejection comes out, and they're timing this, right? And so I guess that they have plotted this out, that the current CME that has been ejected is going to time, and we are going to cross each other's paths. Very, very interesting. And are you ready? Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
What's up, Jimbo?
Who's this?
Scott.
Hey, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Jimmy? It's been a long time.
Well, what'd you think about that rock and roll show tonight?
Damn, bro. I mean, that really tore me. You know, you got to go back, and I got to say something, Jimmy, to you, because you were there. You and I witnessed this. And everybody I talked to, and they tell me, they remember Jimmy Church. You saw everything that went down at the Rainbow. up on the Sunset Strip. You saw the good, the bad, the evil, Kim Fowley, Bob Ace. I could go, the names could go on forever. But let me tell you something. You didn't have a good head on your shoulders, you were going down.
Yes, I agree with that. Oh, did I lose you, Scott?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I was getting your feedback, my brother.
You're getting feedback from me?
Yes, you were there. You were there just like I was.
Oh, I thought you meant feedback in the headphones.
No. You were there. You saw all of that. You witnessed everything over there. You had choices to make. To get out or stay in. And this Will got heat. I tell you something. We played the Stone. We were up there, and you witnessed a lot of stuff. This guy really went through everything. I truly believe him.
You believe in his visions that he had?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
There is, I think that all of us, and I think that Will has chosen the path of good, right? And I'm not talking about religious or this or that or the Bible. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm not talking about this in a religious context. But you can tell when somebody is a good person. And when I went through the rock and roll era of the Sunset Strip from from 84 until now, but also in my life in general. But there were friends of mine around me back then that would go, "Church, man, you got to be crazier. You're like the camp counselor here, man. You're always telling us to calm down and to not do this or not, but I was that guy. I was that guy. I was like, hey,
how we were raised, Jimmy.
Now that isn't to say, and there are people out there that knew me back then that are probably listening right now going, "Oh, church, you were out of control." I was there. I saw. Well, yeah, okay. I did. I had my fun. There's no question about it. But I didn't succumb to the bad things. I never fully went there. I didn't. And I saw it going down, and I was never that guy. I was never that guy.
And that's probably, Jimmy, what saved our souls. A lot of people sold that out. And I've witnessed so many people just give that up. I won't mention names. Somebody from Warrant.
Yeah, no, hold on, slow down.
Yeah.
We're not going down that road, but I'm willing I'm willing to go down this road, which is when you listened to Will describe hell. Okay, that was very vivid, but his description of heaven, that was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I look at, I'm not really sure where he went, but my perception was maybe he thought he was going to heaven, and maybe these were the fallen angels trying to trick him from what is perceived in the Bible. Now, if you believe in the Bible, there is that kind of reaction. But, sheesh, with so many different texts written in the past, what is real? I don't really even know where to go from there. Listening to you and you're listening to basically the Anunnaki and all these other type of text that basically twist this around so much that you don't really know where it's going.
How so?
Well, the Anunnaki says that they brought down people here and they were our gods, correct?
Right.
Okay. But when you look at the Bible, and then you've got the other, which was the other Bible that was taken out of the Bible? My mind is slipping me right now.
You're talking about the Gnostic text?
Yes. So you put all those together, it's like somebody's given us only half the information.
Right. Well, and then there's the other part of this, which again, not religious at all. Okay, which is that it seems that, especially when we know that his heart failed, right? It seems
he died.
Right. It seems that his description of things is very, very similar to others that have had near death or who have died experiences that have been able to come back and describe, what they had seen. But what it says to me is that life doesn't end, right? It doesn't end. Your consciousness,
Correct.
Your soul, it continues. That there is another dimension out there. There is another world. There is something else that exists, that is real after you die, and when you die.
Right. The Book of Enoch, the Bible, they all say that. They all describe that death is not the ending.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm not talking about the Bible at all. I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm talking about people's experiences.
Yes,
including my own. What
are you saying? You almost died?
I went there, and
really,
and I was in the hospital for quite a long time, for a few weeks, almost a month. But my first 4 days there, I wasn't in a medically induced coma. I was just in a coma, and it was a very strange experience for me, in that
Did you have dreams?
I did the entire time, and mine were, I've told this story before, but I sat at, it was black. It was all black. Everything was black. There was no light. It was all black. And I sat at a table. I don't think it was a desk. It was, it seemed like a folding card table, right? Like a card table and a chair. And I had sheet music and a pen, a pencil, and I wrote these symphonies, this music, this elaborate stuff, and I just sat there and I could hear it, and I could write it out, and I did that the entire time, and it was awesome. I had the best time. I was in a happy place that I cannot describe. And what happened to me was, I forgot to ask Will about this, but with me, my eyes, I was in the middle of this, man, and it just went on and went on and went on and went on, and I was happy and it was cool. But my eyes popped open. Bloop. And I'm in a hospital. I don't remember anything. And I'm looking around, and I see the TV at the foot of the bed. I've got all these tubes and things in me. And I look over to my left, and there's a priest. Black priest with a white collar. He's in the priestly suit. And I look over at him, and he jumps. I jump. He jumps. And he goes, oh, wow, you're awake. And he grabs.
So this is reality. This is
reality. And he turns.
Okay. And
he grabs the button, right, to call the nurses or the doctors or whatever. He's hitting that thing. Bleep, 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 bleep. What the heck was that?
Slash's best solo ever.
What?
Just popped on.
Okay, well, anyway.
It's over my computer. I'm at work. Sorry.
So anyway, the nurses come running in, doctors come running in, and I'm watching them freak out. I don't know what's going on. All I know is, I knew I was in a high. I didn't know why. I didn't remember anything. But I wanted to close my eyes and go back to where I was. And I was pissed off about that. I was really mad that my eyes popped open and I was sucked out of that moment that I was in. Yeah.
You wanted to stay there.
I wanted to go back. I was like Dorothy, man. I was clicking my heels. I'm like, man.
Yeah. That's an exciting time. It's a real exciting time. So, Jimmy, I'm going to proposition you with something else here. So, the Indianapolis 500 is starting up pretty soon, and you're an indie boy.
Right.
So, I'm going to offer you $500 to pick the winner.
You're going to offer me $500 to pick the winner.
The winner.
Okay. All right. I'll do it tomorrow on the show.
Well, you don't know who the starting grid is right now?
I've got to go back and take a look at it. I looked at it briefly, but I got to go back and take a look at it.
You pick the winner, and I'm going to donate $500 to Fade to Black.
All right. Fair enough.
You just pick it. You got it?
Yeah, I got a 1 in 33 chance. Those are pretty good odds.
Now listen, AJ Foyt is not in the running. You know that, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's on the grid, man. I don't think he's on the grid. You know what's funny? Today, before I hit the break here, the end of the show, today, August 19th, that was the first running of the 500. August 19th. You're right. Yeah, it wasn't May 31st. Most people think it was always on Memorial Day. But no, August 19th. There you go. Who won the first 500?
Oh my God, I don't know who
Don't
won the
look
first
it up.
500. I won't. I'm here in my kitchen in my shop.
I'll tell you right now.
My dad, who won it?
Ray Haroon. Driving the Marmon Wasp. That was the car.
The Marmon Wasp. Who started the milk drinking thing?
That happened. I'm going to say that happened right before World War II.
I think so.
I don't think it. Yeah, I'd have to go and look that up. That's a good piece of trivia right there. It's easy for most Indy 500, historians, but that's actually a great question.
Okay, so Jimmy, just real quick, row number 1, Marco Andretti, Scott Dixon, and Takumo Sato.
Yeah, no, that's tough right there, man. You could do a coin toss.
Hey, man, nice talking to you again.
I'll talk to you, Scott. Right on.
Peace. Bye.
Scott, the rocker, coming in strong. And there you go. And I've got to roll credits. I've got other calls on hold, and everybody that's there, I apologize for not getting to you, but I haven't talked to Scott in a while. Will Carroll tonight, fantastic show. Thank you so much. And tomorrow night, I do want to remind everybody, tomorrow night right here, Linda Moulton Howe. What a great conversation tonight. And for everybody, you can go over to, the links are over at jimmychurchradio.com. But you go over to deathangel.us and everything you need is right there. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarian. Show is produced by I lost everything right in front of me. My computer just went down. I cannot believe this. Should I do this by memory? Should I do by memory? Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2020 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, Linda Moulton Howe. Until then, everybody be safe. Go back, Lee Tappy.